Tonight on Newsbeat.
Two of the Nashville school shooting victims are tied to Louisiana.
How a grant from Louisiana lawmakers will benefit the LSU Vet School.
And find out why Baton Rouge is considered a food desert.
All this and more, Newsbeat starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to Newsbeat. I'm Matia Carroll.
And I'm Jillian Elliott. Thanks for joining us.
Police in Nashville are digging into the background and motivations of a former student who entered an elementary school and opened fire, killing 3 children and 3 adults. Police say the first call came in at 10:13 a.m. Monday, and the shooter was dead 14 minutes later. Police received surveillance video showing the moments the shooter, identified as 28-year-old Audrey Hale, arrived on campus and opened fire on an entrance. Police say the former student executed a planned and targeted attack.
Reporter Miguel Paredes Reyes is live to explain how 2 of the adult victims have connections to Louisiana. Miguel?
That's right, Jillian. One of the adult victims was 60-year-old Dr. Catherine Kuntz, the head of the Covenant School. Dr. Kuntz attended University High Lab right behind me and studied at LSU. I spoke to one of Kuntz's former teachers and tennis coaches who said she was one of the best students and athletes she had ever taught.
She was spunky, and she was opinionated, but she had a kind heart, and she was a fiercely competitive tennis player. She was just a wonderful person and good friend to people, and I think she always had a strong faith, and I know that her family and close friends are going to miss her dearly.
Another one of the victims was 61-year-old substitute teacher Cynthia Peak, a native of Leesville, Louisiana. Peak spent most of her youth in Vernon Parish before her family relocated to Shreveport. For Tiger TV, I'm Miguel Paredes Reyes. Back to y'all in the studio.
Thanks, Miguel. Nicholls State University is investigating an assistant professor after receiving multiple complaints about his behavior with students. Assistant geography professor Joseph Takash was suspended on Saturday. Students claimed Takash asked them to let him paint their faces in exchange for grade boost or payments. Takash claimed it was a part of his curriculum in cultural geography, but admitted on his personal Reddit page to using the activity as a way to satisfy a face painting fetish. We will follow the story and bring you any important updates.
Even though the weather wasn't great today, that didn't stop the purple and gold from going out in style. The LSU women's basketball team is heading off to the Final Four. Just a couple hours ago, the team departed to Dallas for their first Final Four appearance in 15 years. The Lady Tigers will square off against #1 seed Virginia Tech on Friday night at 6 p.m. with a spot in the national championship game on the line. Louisiana lawmakers are making a big investment into LSU's vet school in hopes of nearly doubling admissions from 120 students to 200 students next school year. Reporter Sumner Bradley learned how this investment could make a difference across the country.
The Louisiana legislature is investing $2.2 million into LSU School of Veterinary Medicine as an initial step towards meeting the critical needs of the declining veterinarian workforce. By the end of the decade, the United States is expected to be short of at least 15,000 vets. Dean of LSU School of Veterinary Medicine, Oliver Garden, says that this decline stems from burnout.
People sometimes, because of the stresses and burnout, leave the profession, so there's an issue with attrition. But this is common not just to veterinary medicine, it's also pervasive in the other healthcare professions like dentistry and medicine.
While not the best news for pet owners, it opens the door for opportunity at LSU School of Veterinary Medicine. LSU is the only vet school in the state, and through research and providing care, LSU's veterinary school supports the second largest driver of Louisiana's economy, agriculture.
Expertise in areas that many other vet schools and colleges do not have. Disaster preparedness and management, this is quite unique to LSU Vet Med, and we train people throughout the nation to deliver that, and our students are the benefactors of that local expertise.
Research points to another factor that could be affecting the number of people pursuing a veterinary career. According to the CDC, female veterinarians are 3.5 times more likely to die by suicide than the general population. Male vets are twice as likely.
Sometimes you can lose sight of the big picture, and it's really important to realize and remember what you're there for. You are an advocate for animals. You provide services that most other people cannot.
Dean Garden says the $2.2 million investment is just one of many steps towards LSU bringing a brighter future to the veterinary field.
This is just the start of additional funding that we need to prepare ourselves both in human capital and in physical facilities to accommodate that larger number of students.
Dean Garden says that the vet school is hiring more faculty and staff in order to meet the needs of a larger class. The money will be used to renovate existing classroom spaces and create new ones, as well as make improvements to the school's surgical training center. If you were on campus this morning, hopefully you had rain gear.
And if you want to know what the rest of the week looks like, Sydney Goldberg has your weekly weather update next.
So good.
Hey, welcome back. I'm Sydney Goldberg with your weekly weather update. We had some showers and storms this morning ahead of a cold front that made its way through today. It's allowing for some cooler temperatures tomorrow, mid-50s for 9, and then staying in the 60s through the afternoon and evening. And we'll be staying dry. This weekend should be nice. Those temperatures rebound back into the 80s for Saturday. A chance of rain on Saturday. Same with Sunday, a little bit cooler, still in the 80s, and we do have that chance of rain on Sunday as well. We'll be staying cool and dry through Thursday. Temperatures rebound back into the 80s on Friday and through the weekend. We do have those rain chances through Monday of next week, and Tuesday afternoon high upper 80s and possibly 90. Back to y'all at the desk.
Tiger TV's investigative team is working to learn about food insecurities in Louisiana. For part 1 of this 3-part series, we have Alon Valdivieso in the studio to tell us more. What do you have, Alon?
That's right, Mattia. Areas called food deserts are becoming more prominent. But did you know that one sits right here at the edge of LSU's campus? Take a look.
For people like Larry Johnson and his neighbors on Napoleon Street,
there's nothing here in South Baton Rouge.
A quick grocery store run is actually a walk, a long 43-minute walk. That's because many people in his neighborhood don't own a car.
The difference would be tremendous. Simply it's walking distance, and for a lot of people it means that chances are they're going to get the nutrition that they really need.
In Louisiana, 45% of people live in a food desert, which is an area that has limited access to affordable and nutritious food. One of the largest food deserts in the state sits right in LSU's backyard, just north of campus.
We've been working on this issue together, Baton Rouge, since about 2014. We created the Fresh Food Financing Initiative.
Edgar Cage works with Together Baton Rouge, a nonprofit created to help improve the community, one focus being food insecurity. Cage says not only does Baton Rouge not have enough grocery stores in low-income areas, the convenience stores that are in these neighborhoods don't offer much.
Corner stores that don't sell any fresh, healthy food. You'll be lucky if you can find a head of lettuce or a tomato, and if you do, it'll cost you 50-60% more than it would at some other place.
Along with food deserts, an additional obstacle has become more prevalent. Food swamps, neighborhoods with an abundance of fast food restaurants and other unhealthy options, are now flooding cities, to the point where these have become the only choices.
Try to look for a healthy meal. I have 1 or 2 places to get it, and you have to go to those same places every day.
Councilman Darrell Hurst represents District 5. This 70805 area code has found both food swamps and high crime. Baton Rouge crime rate is 2.3% higher than the national average and 1.4% higher than the state average.
Anytime you have high crime, you typically have low education. When you have low education, you have low income.
Hurst encourages families in his district to utilize Top Box, a program that delivers boxes of nutritious food to individuals and community providers at a much more affordable price.
We are partnering to make sure that the community is fed.
But the program and partnerships, as important as they are, still don't change the fact that 17,000 households in North Baton Rouge are food insecure. Hurst says, as with most things, money is the bottom line.
The stores look to see where they want to land. They look for certain income levels to be able to put certain merchandising together to make sure that that community has the products that it needs.
And big box grocery stores are not as likely to invest in the community, which leaves Larry Johnson and his neighbors who don't own vehicles walking miles and miles to put healthy food on their tables.
You know, if you want to do better, you have to know how to do better.
In addition to Top Box, the Baton Rouge Food Bank provides resources for those who are insecure through their mobile distribution program. Tomorrow, learn more about SNAP benefits and how many students are actually eligible to receive that extra help.
Thanks, Alon. Over 42% of Louisiana's population is currently insured through Medicaid. Reporter Ali Paul is in the studio to explain how Louisiana Medicaid recipients can prepare for changes beginning April 1st.
Thanks, guys. Many Americans are preparing to be without insurance as states start redetermining Medicaid eligibility for the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic. An estimated 14 to 18 million Americans will lose their Medicaid coverage. This includes 7 million Americans still eligible for Medicaid that are predicted to lose coverage due to barriers such as filling out essential paperwork in time. Louisiana currently has over 2 million Medicaid recipients, and that number is expected to drop between 280 to 350,000 people over the next year. LSU Administrative Law Professor Nicholas Briner explains how Louisiana residents under Medicaid can prepare for these changes.
There are about 2 million people in Louisiana covered under Medicaid. In the next several months, anyone who is on Medicaid should pay attention to make sure whether they get any letters notifying them about whether their eligibility is being verified.
Louisiana Medicaid recipients can begin expecting a pink letter verifying contact information via mail in the following weeks. I'm Ali Paul, back to you at the desk.
LSU celebrated Women's History Month with events, opportunities, and female spotlights. But the university hasn't always been like this. LSU was established in 1860 and did not admit a female student until 1906 when 19 women enrolled. Since then, women have made their own mark on campus, now outnumbering male students by about 8%. However, there is more work to be done for women to feel represented on campus, according to Feminist in Action exec Lauren Peet.
It's our responsibility as women and as activists to uplift all women and to not just cheer and praise for one group when there's so much diversity and so many things that make us different.
Pete also says queer and other minority groups have far to go in the fight for equality.
Baton Rouge's Down Syndrome Awareness Group turns 40 this year. Stay tuned to find out how they put the fun in fundraiser and how you can help too. Last Saturday, the Down Syndrome Awareness Group of Baton Rouge raised over $70,000 during their annual Buddy Walk. DSAP provides a sense of community resources for those with Down syndrome, like free swimming lessons, using money raised from the fundraiser like the Buddy Walk. Over 1,000 people were in attendance at the event. This event brings residents from Baton Rouge and all over the state together for a day of walking activities and spreading awareness. For 4 decades, DSAP has promoted inclusivity for those with Down syndrome. Resources, including free swimming lessons, are also provided with the money raised from fundraisers like the Buddy Walk.
Were not for these events, we would not be able to offer all that we do for free.
That's all the time we have for tonight's Newsbeat. I'm Matia Carroll.
And I'm Jillian Elliott. Have a great night, Tigers.